From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, human rights is about humanity, justice and well-being. But for Amnesty, it may well have been one large, shadowy, dirty, shady business operation. Contracts being sold, reports being pre-decided, dubious streams used to bring in foreign money, targeting of high net worth individuals to raise money, selling of services, not keeping documentation, desperate means to avoid being tracked by the Ministry of Home Affairs. But worst of all, ladies and gentlemen, worst of all, a profit motive. Can you believe it, viewers? A profit motive, a disclosed profit motive. They've gone on record in written statements has said, we were all doing this because we wanted to make some profits. Cash, ladies and gentlemen. Cash in returns for human rights advocacy. Shravan Sen is bringing to you tonight the human rights for profit scam, a story that is being suppressed by the Lutyens media. Here's the story, and then we debate.
Behind the garb of activism, behind the mask of human rights.
What lies is a massive financial fraud. At least this is what these scathing Enforcement Directorate papers indicate. Because this provisional attachment order exposes how commercial methods were employed to evade FCRA norms. This document, accessed by Republic TV, states in black and white that there is a criminal conspiracy on the part of AIIPL as civil society work, charitable activities are being carried out by AIIPL on huge profit on commercial lines, and the funds for these activities are obtained in the garb of remittances against export of services. They would like us to believe that they are the do-gooders, but Amnesty is no do-gooder. Rather, it's a business operation that is being funded by a parent organization based in United Kingdom. 51 crore rupees were infused via questionable means into Amnesty in India. What was it really used for? This is an admission that has now been made by Akar Patel. There were certain campaigns. And what were these campaigns? Take a look at this document where Akar Patel finally admits one more campaign was on usage of pellet guns in Kashmir, use of Armed Forces Special Power Act in Kashmir and Northeast Pens. Take a look at this document where Akar Patel finally admits that the remittances were utilized in executing contracts with set of deliverables, including research, planning and advocacy. What he remembers, ready to report on engaging and training Western Railways staff. The modus operandi has now been exposed by the Enforcement Directorate, and they call it proceeds of crime. We tell you why. It all began back in 2012 when the FCRA license was cancelled of Amnesty International India Foundation Trust. Thereafter, they floated two other entities which started receiving foreign remittances from the parent company. Now, this parent organization, which is Amnesty International United Kingdom, started sending foreign remittances to the tune of 51 crore rupees, which once again, the Enforcement Directorate is touting it as the proceeds of crime. And they say this money was parked in over 30 bank accounts.
Amnesty was a profit-making commercial entity that made human rights a sellable business.
Is it really part of what Amnesty International wanted? Then it raises a question, does Amnesty International function this way? Do they approve of the manner in which these things have happened here? Fourth, it will come, why are foreign funds needed in such a circuitous and questionable manner? Is there an agenda behind these funds? Are these funds to destabilize polity, create unrest in society, create misinformation? These are very, very significant and they have to be investigated fully.
Every report seems to have been pre-decided, contracted and paid for. Was Amnesty running the biggest human rights for profit scam? Let's debate.
Shravan co-anchoring this segment with me. We are going factually on this. This is a very important story. The facts will appear in graphics on your screen. The numbers will be on your screen. Parts of the report will be on your screen. The total numbers, relevant portions will be put out in graphics, and we shall debate the details. On the debate tonight, Madhu Kishwar, Sanju Verma, Xavier Rodriguez, and Ishkaran Bhandari on one side. Lokesh Jindal, Congress, George Kurian, political strategist, is with us as well. Peer Vikarul Aslam, who is a human rights activist and a journalist from Srinagar, and Renu Mittal will be joining us in a minute. We're opening the debate now. Okay. Now, point number one. We are going factually on this. You are denied, from what I understand, and Shravan, you can help me in this, Amnesty was denied FCRA clearance. So then they said, we will bring the money in through another route. So they said, we will operate like any other company operates. We will bring in money, claim we are exporting services, and claim to be bringing in foreign direct investment. And we'll bring in the foreign direct investment from London, and we will give shares in India. And the question then is, what are they exporting? So while they are saying they are this human rights body, what comes across, Shravan, and maybe you can explain this because viewers will be really startled with this, what comes across is that some, I can only politely use the word fool, some fool told them that you can avoid the whole route by trying to justify the money you're getting from London as FDI. But are they a steel company? Do they make soap, shampoos, computers? This is bizarre. It's so stupid sometimes that you almost have to, pinch yourself to believe they actually did this, Shravan.
Well, in fact, they did it and they made profits out of it. In fact, if you take a look at this document, Arnab, the profit that they've made, 7 lakh in 2013-2014, 55 lakh rupees between 2014-2015, 75 lakh between 2015 and 2016, and it keeps going up. Let me just tell you what you've already mentioned about how they wanted to circumvent the FCRA norms was this. Back in 2012, when this government was not even in power, it was the UPA government in power. They are the ones who did not give them the FCRA license, number one, to begin with. So what they did, floated 2 other entities. Both these entities started doing business with their parent organization, Amnesty. And interestingly, in this entire deal, there is only one client. So only one client, that's Amnesty International United Kingdom. And they were exporting services. And these services were what? They were reports. And in fact, when one of the office bearers was actually asked this question, how exactly is this entire list of reports that you have prepared in Punjab and in Kashmir, how are they commercial activity? This person goes on to say that yes, this is a commercial activity because there was a contract that was signed. And this is not what we are saying. A man who goes by the name of Raj Kishore Kapil stated that according to him, all the above were commercial contracts because they were entered into and were executed with commercial intent. They made it abundantly clear that a report prepared in Kashmir, a report prepared on 1984 Sikh massacre, this was with a commercial intent. It's become abundantly clear this was not for any charitable work. This was not what an NGO, how an NGO should be operating. It was a company that was finally operating.
Okay, so opening this up for debate, Renu Mittal is on. Can anyone from the other side, maybe Renu or George Kurian or Lokesh Jindal, try to explain to me what kind of foreign direct investment was happening from Amnesty UK, which was remitting crores of rupees to Indian entities, classifying it as foreign direct investment? What was the investment into? Anyone? Can anyone explain this? Because it's become fashionable to say, oh no, ED, very bad, but can anyone explain this in detail? Amnesty UK remitted crores of rupees to Amnesty's India entities, classified them as foreign direct investment. As foreign direct, can anyone?
Arnab.
Yeah, please.
Arnab.
Yeah.
Arnab, in a sense, they are being honest because all their support in Kashmir is a commercial enterprise for all these people. It's the entire ecosystem which feeds, wines and dines in trying to break India, harm India. For them, I think it's an honest admission that it was a commercial enterprise, nothing to do with human rights. And I have a fundamental objection to even the Supreme Court held the same, that there is no fundamental right to receive foreign remittance
these
except
frauds,
as per the laws of the land.
the problem is these frauds get political support. No, these frauds get political support. That's the problem. And I find it fabulous tonight. I must say I'm enjoying the program tonight, because as I bring these wonderful details to you with my fantastic colleague Shravan Sen, the other side has not one word to say, nothing to say. They don't know what to respond. You wanted to... yeah, go on. Yeah, there you are, Lokesh. I thought you were not getting my audio.
I'm absolutely fine. In fact, when we talk about functional democracy, civil society, free media, these form the bedrock of a democratic way of life. But if you look at the present government, right from its intention, misuse of Act 66A of the IT Act, trying to
that is Kapil Sibal's inheritance, for God's sake. 66A of the IT Act.
Restrictions upon all civil societies, trying to arm twist
What
whether
has
it's
that got to
Amnesty
do with foreign
International
funding?
or any other NGO. The idea is subvert anything and everything that criticizes the government. I mean, there should not be anything that questions the government as to why it failed. There should not be any entity
How
that
you are
questions why
getting money
this
into
abrogation of
India?
Article
Please explain
370
that.
has failed to bring about any form of peace in Kashmir. Why is it that the situation is still unstable? Why is it that demonetization was a failure? None of the government policies have been able to bring about any form of change in the lives of the people, and anything which criticizes the government is to be brought within the ambit of this act.
Lokesh, are you listening to me? One minute. Just coming to you, Sanju. We have tremendous amount of time on this. Just one point, because I need to make this. Point 5.1.7, please have a look, Shravan, and kindly someone tell me that Amnesty is saying that it's an export house. No, you're laughing, but it's true. They are saying we are an export house. We are putting out exports. And that what was being exported? What were they exporting? All these lectures on things of what were they exporting?
This.
Not one reply. Viewers, this is incredible. Okay, Sanju is on that. I think that's a pass.
List.
Yeah. What were they exporting? What were they exporting? Someone tell me.
Arnab, may I come in?
Kashmir access to justice research projects.
Is the most lucrative industry.
Arnab.
No, we should know that.
No, but I want, Sanju wanted to come in. Madhu, coming to you right away. I want to know what was exported, because they are saying we were an export house.
You know, Arnab, I was there last Friday on this particular subject with you, and I told you that the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI have not been able to find any concrete answers to the 61.72 crore which has been classified as export proceeds by Amnesty International UK and Indian arm Amnesty India. I just want to quickly say one thing. You know, Lokesh Jindal has said that, democracy is in danger, democracy khatre mein hai, blah, blah, blah. This case, the investigation by the ED started October 2018. Aisa nahi hai ki in 48 hours we said, we find something wrong with Akar Patel's tweet, which are filled with hatred towards the Modi government. So let us ask the ED to conduct a probe. In December 2018, the Enforcement Directorate actually went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court then said that the CBI should also additionally look into the matter, after which in 2019 the CBI filed an FIR against Amnesty International UK and Amnesty India under Section 11, Section 35 and Section 39. But Arnab, quickly 20 seconds, I'll tell you the most important thing which you might want to highlight. September 2020, Amnesty's bank accounts in India were frozen. Amnesty went to the Karnataka High Court saying, how are we supposed to function? Our bank accounts are frozen. Do you know what the Karnataka High Court said? the Karnataka High Court said you will only be allowed to pay basic minimum salaries to your minimal staff and the statutory dues.
Yeah.
Just 10 seconds. I fail to understand when the Karnataka High Court ruled in favor of the CBI's findings, ruled in favor of the Enforcement Directorate's findings, clearly castigated Amnesty India. Amnesty India's bank accounts are frozen. How on earth are they conducting these export proceeds of 51 or 61 odd crores?
No, I still hammer one point. And viewers, this is so wonderful. It's so beautiful, in fact. You know, this whole lobby, Renu and Madhu are on this whole lobby which speaks in this, you know, I must say this fake accents about how they are the vanguard of human rights and liberal values and free media and God knows what. Now that it is proven that they are such frauds, such shameless frauds, had they carried out this fraud in the country where the money came from, they would have been in jail. Maybe somebody would have put them back in the Tower of London and they would have never come back, locked them up there for good. The point is, Renu, how does one justify such frauds? They say, and I report here, when asked about the objectives, how the objectives qualify or constitute as a commercial activity for a profit-making company, that is MSAIIPL, Shri Akar Patel stated they have the requisite experience and so they are providing such commercial services. It is as per the agreement between the agreed parties and the same are between two of them only. So Akar Patel, people of your ideological persuasion, Renu, have been propping up, seems to have been a kingpin in this fraud. And they say we are a profit-making company. We are in India to make profits. No, 1 minute. They are saying we are a profit-making commercial entity. And you and others like you have been saying, no, they are human rights activists.
Modi-hating human rights activists.
Arnab, the point is that 1 minute, please. World over, there are organizations which are there to provide funds for a whole gamut of activities. They involve peace, they involve dialogue between countries, they involve human rights, they involve all kinds of issues. In Holland, there are people, there are organizations which do this. So do the others. No, please, just pipe down. Huh? You are trying to jump the cart before the horse. No, don't. Akar Patel is a pain in the neck.
Name 5 humanitarian causes that have been endorsed by Arnab Patel. Name 5 humanitarian.
What about the other cases? What about the land that is being grabbed by the Isha Foundation? Somebody who is being supported by the BJP. Who will bring that to justice? Why is the government being so selective? You please answer this. बात गालियों देने की नहीं है, आप जवाब दे ही हो. You will have to reply everything. Why this activity, madam? What is prompting this activity? Why is it that you are completely mum when it comes to Isha Foundation bringing about land grabs?
I sent a message. My question is,
Please let us.
संजू वर्मा जी, आप सत्ता में हो, आपको जवाब देना पड़ेगा.
Okay, 1 minute. देखिए, I'll tell you one thing. All I want, I have no problem. Listen to me.
I want a civil dialogue on this.
Yeah.
Why don't you try and understand the fact that there are a lot of NGOs in this country? They are being funded by various people, including many organizations which come from abroad. So the point is that they are.
The cat is out of the bag now.
Please pipe down. There is legitimate activity. Just just because your government and your Prime Minister can't take criticism, he is putting ED on everybody. He is trying to put CBI. He is trying to put income tax. He is trying to say that everybody is a chore except the guys who have a BJP ideology.
Okay, here's one point. See, listen, Renu.
You don't know what you are talking about.
This is not
Your
about
point is,
Renu.
please listen.
Blatant
Arnab, please tell her to
Renu, no, listen to me, Renu, listen to me. I haven't even gone to Madhu yet. You're getting so worked up at what Sanju is saying. Imagine you're going to burst an artery when Madhu starts speaking.
Sanju is all the time screaming and shouting without any content in her head. She is a
now
kind
you
of
go
person who doesn't know what she's doing. She is like, she has a view that the government has to be protected at any cost. Do you ever read?
Okay, I wish to share something. Can I speak or what? Do I have any human rights or not, Renu? Now come on. One second. Listen, this is so.
Keep quiet.
Okay.
She's not letting
Renu, can you now? Renu, can you? And Sanju, if we don't, there are lots of people tuning in right now. They want. There is a very important fact I want to share. Please, Sanju and Renu, please, both of you have some pity on me and allow me to continue to my next point. Please, one point.
Just keep quiet. Don't do such language.
No. Just 1 minute. Just wait. Here's one point. People are shocked today at the details we are sharing. First of all, I have said that Akar Patel says I am running a profit-making company. My idea is to generate profit. I am not really anything else. I am an export house profit-making company. I am selling human rights for profit. I am selling services. I don't even keep a PO for it. Today, any of you provide the service, there'll be some kind of a billing that you'll keep for it. It's not there. He effectively admits I did all this to avoid registration with the Ministry of Home Affairs. But most importantly, and the point Shravan alluded to, page number 35, Shravan, of the provisional attachment order is very fascinating. And Ishkaran will be of interest to Ishkaran and Sanju, and I want to bring Madhu in. It says that we are getting money and we are providing a service. Now, for example, they got £165,000. They got paid as an export house to provide a service. In this case, they had to supply some reports against the Indian government. And it is specified in the services itself, Madhu. When you specify what are the deliverables, the supplier shall do this, the supplier shall do that. The supplier shall provide support and supplementary materials to cover the impunity for security forces in Jammu and Kashmir facilitated by laws, and the supplier shall highlight these findings, and the supplier shall urge the Indian government to provide information on the 15 families identified in the report, which means there's a clear political motive. It is written in the contract made by them, not us, Shravan. And the deliverables, please look at this. By 31st of January, please read this part out. They'll be shocked. Madhu, you will be shocked at what's going on. Please tell them 31st of January, who are they supposed to supply this information to?
There's a specific timeline. There's a specific timeline. By 31st January 2017, Amnesty says that they will deliver. Opposition and some ruling party MLAs in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly have demanded information be provided on the cases of 15 families identified in the report, which essentially means that they prepare the report, they have a discussion with certain opposition members that this was going to be picked up in the assembly. So then they say opposition MLAs have sought information on the number of minors booked arrested under the PSA in 2016. Then they have another specific date, 28th February 2017. Representatives from the 15 families have met the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister and leader of opposition to officially seek the state government intervention for information on their cases.
So what they are saying is, what they are saying is,
the enforcement directorate.
No, what they are saying is
one line.
Yeah, go on.
This is what enforcement directorate is saying. All of this was in the guise of commercial activities. This is highly suspicious when national interest is concerned.
Yeah.
Because remember, they did not inform the Ministry of Home Affairs, and for this they had taken the money circumventing the FCRA norms.
This is one of the many reports. In this case, approximately 16 lakh rupees was paid for this one report, and it was supposed to be used by politicians. The nature of the report, Madhu, is already specified in the legal agreement between the two entities while the money is being paid, and it is being given to Akar Patel, who is CEO of this organization, taking a salary of 30 to 35 lakh rupees. Plus, obviously, he is handling all this cash which is coming in, total of 51 to 61 crores being handled by him. And he says, I'm running a profit-making enterprise. The profit is being made how, Madhu? The profit is being made by producing a pre-scripted report for which money is coming from London by breaking the rules of our country. Madhu.
Well, firstly, Arnab, since I have known these NGO racketeers much longer than anyone else I know of, let me tell you, 51 crore or 61 crore is loose change for them. This is chiller, and this is on the record. But what they get over and above, you and I have no way to even count. Secondly, let's not forget that peddling fake narratives about India, pre-scripted or following the script given by the funders, is one of the most lucrative career option anywhere in the world, especially with regard to India. We are really top of the list of global mafias out to subvert and out to destroy whatever little there is left of India after 1947. And that peddling fake narratives has been done not today, not only by Akar Patel, by claiming very openly that he is conducting a business, import, export. They import toolkits and they export fake narratives as per the toolkit description. Now the point is, all these NGOs, including and especially Amnesty International, what are they all about? Firstly, they are advance party for planting subversive elements. They provide cover for terror groups, and they also open the floodgates for conversion mafias. That is their real role, and that is why they are paid so well. And please don't take 51 crores as big figure. Honestly, they get far more. You and I can't even keep account of it, nor the government of India. And the reason they chose FCRA route is, they avoided FCRA route is because they thought that can be blocked any moment. Also, you have to share the booty. Mind you, I don't understand why the government isn't banning foreign funded NGOs. Why they're not banning, for example, Amnesty International instead of just suing them for these tiny violations. In my view, the kind of treason that Akar Patel has committed by telling lies about India, his role even in the 2002 riots, Gujarat riots, is abysmal. Now, these are treasonous activities because it's not that you're reporting human rights abuses, you are manufacturing fake narratives in order to demean India, in order to destroy its credibility over the globe, in order to wreak vengeance on this society and tear asunder the social fabric of India, to make the entire generation of youngsters grow up to be self-hating, have low I'm saying this is part of psychological warfare, so that our politicians are petrified of what the world will think of them. What will New York Times write about them? What will Washington Post say about them? And they all plant their articles there. He's not even a journalist by any standards. There is no serious journalism that Akar
No, but look at the financial scam. My focus, why...
Are you trying to say that none of the human rights violations have happened in Kashmir? Are you trying to rubbish everything that has happened in Kashmir just because of Akar Patel, one individual?
I know better about human rights violations. The terrorists, the Maoist groups, the jihadi groups that they provide cover to are the ones who are committing real human rights violations and breaking up
And nothing
this
like
country
fake encounters
and tearing
or
asunder our
pallet
social
victims
family.
are in
Do they
Kashmir.
ever
There's
dare
nothing like
talk
that.
about them?
No.
Do they
The question
ever
being,
dare talk about
question
them?
being,
Bahaduri
question being,
hai to baat kijiye.
Peer, you have an Indian passport, don't you?
Arnab.
No, one second.
Arnab,
Peer, you have an Indian passport, don't you? No, I'm asking Peer one thing.
She's only
No. Peer,
shouting when
Vikarul
people like us are
Aslam,
talking.
you have
And then
an Indian passport or not?
Madhu is a big
I have a
fan,
human heart
big
as
fan
well.
Do you have a
Arnab,
do you have a
human
Indian
heart
passport or not? No, I'm asking you, Peer, 1 minute. My question to Peer is, and Peer is on the debate, 1 minute. Peer and George, but 1 minute, Renu, Peer and George on one side and Ishkaran and Savio on the other. Peer, my question to you is, you have an Indian passport or not?
Everybody's on the payroll.
What has my passport to do with this debate?
I'll
Mr.
tell you
Arnab
what it
Goswami?
has. First you tell me,
Yes, please explain.
are you the proud
You want to
holder
take
of
it
an
back?
Indian passport or not?
Do you want me to go
Are
to
you the
Pakistan?
proud holder of an Indian passport or not?
Do you
Answer
want
me.
to send me to Pakistan?
I am
That's what
asking
you're
you,
going to
I'm
say,
not
right?
sending you anywhere. Do you carry an Indian passport or not?
That person is
I
not
mean, what has my
Can I have him on the screen because Renu is speaking non-stop 2 versus 2. I mentioned the 4. 1 second.
What are you doing?
Do you have an Indian
Sir,
passport
what
or
has
not?
my passport? You want to revoke it or what?
No, I'm asking you whether you have a passport or not.
Yeah, I travel proudly with that passport and I don't
Yeah.
mind having it.
Yeah. No.
Mr. Gandhi had a British passport, right? So was he a Britisher?
No, 1 second. You have an Indian passport, right? And the simple question to
Yeah.
you is, therefore,
there is no
allow
shame in admitting that I have a travel document that lets me travel to the world.
allow me. Have you ever received any money ever from Amnesty?
Why would I receive money for Amnesty
I'm not asking you
International?
why
What
would
has
you.
that-
I'm asking you, have you?
Well, if ED asks me, I will respond to
No.
them. I
Have
don't
you
think
at
I
any
have to
point?
respond
Have you done anything to
No.
had anything to do with them?
No, I don't have to do anything with
No.
them.
Well,
But the point is
why?
this-
The point is this. I'll tell you what.
Can I ask the question?
No, I'm asking you. Remember, the follow-up is here. The point is that
That's-
if you were to set up a body, right, which would
Okay.
receive investment from London,
Okay.
from Amnesty UK, through a FDI route, and if you were to say, I am an export house, I'm giving them money, then the ED would ask you, is your organization registered with the Ministry of Home Affairs? And if you were to say, no, I don't think I need to register with the Ministry of Home Affairs, then any sensible person would ask you, that means you are using this FDI route to avoid being registered with Ministry of Home Affairs. Now, why would you avoid being registered? Because the moment you are registered with Ministry of Home Affairs, you come under their scrutiny. They watch what you do. Now, you don't want to be watched for what you do, which means you have a secret. The question is, what secret do they have? Savio, the question is, you do all these things, circuitous routes, only when you're hiding something.
Sir, who is denying that everything should
Well,
be
that's
investigated?
pretty evident,
ED should
no, Arnab.
investigate it. But the question is, how many of BJP leaders
That's
have
pretty
been raided
evident,
by
isn't
ED,
it?
ID or CBI? Why aren't BJP leaders drilled by ED the same way other people,
The
other
point
activists
is not
are?
that, my friend.
Why is it selective?
Mr. P, the point is they had not got their FCRA license in 2012. In order to circumvent the rules of FCRA, they decided to function as a commercial entity. Now, they are a human rights entity across the world. In India, they choose to circumvent the rules of India and function as a commercial entity, saying they are an export house. Exporting what?
Exporting what, exactly?
For which you're paid
the question
51
is who
crores
allowed
to
them to
61.
register through
What
different
are they
routes?
exporting
How-
as
how
an
were they able
export
to
house?
register as a commercial
So what
entity?
has BJP
Who
got to do with
facilitated them?
it?
Isn't it
Today,
somebody
an
from the inside who's
organization
facilitating
like
them?
Amnesty
And it
International
cannot be,
is
outside the
sending
system
money
that is
into
run by
India where they were not cleared for FCRA in the UPA government, and today you're questioning the BJP for a license that was cancelled in the UPA regime.
Renu.
Why did Amnesty and
Renu
Arnab
and George on the
Patel
right.
not follow the rules that were laid down by India for non-profit
I don't know.
organizations.
Only
Why did they
operational
take
part.
the commercial route?
No, operational.
What was there to hide?
Operational part is, you know, we have made this imagery. This imagery has been created. I just 20 seconds. I'm really loving this debate. This imagery has been created, Shravan, that these are do-gooders, good people, non-commercially minded, just good people, you know, doing good work, just with a golden heart. Ishkaran. But now, quietly, they go to the ED and they say, no, we are doing this for the consideration of money duly received.
Yes.
Page number 17. Yes. They say, for us, everything is a commercial contract entered and executed with a commercial intent and commercial purpose, and the consideration was duly received. It's all about the cash. Ishkaran.
Arnab, instead of a golden heart, it appears to be a case of a golden pocket. And one thing which is very important, if they were doing commercial deals and they were supplying information to members of assembly in Jammu and Kashmir, that would be a separate Pandora's box. Because then they are not being journalists. They are preparing reports on commercial criterias. What were those criterias? Secondly, the Supreme Court has held there is no fundamental right to foreign donations. So were you trying to circumvent the law of India as well as the judgments of the Supreme Court when you enter into commercial contract? And thirdly, for any company, any commercial enterprise, there has to be a consumer, there has to be a buyer, there has to be a seller. So who were the buyers and who were the sellers? Who were interested in Kashmir, who were interested in 1984 riots? What was the commerce there? That commerce has to come out.
Who were the buyers of the information?
An action which is detrimental to the national security of India. So commercial activities detrimental to national security, I think we may head into investigation under UAPA.
And large amounts of money, you see. The other point is, George, this is so fascinating. We're getting a great response. And remember, viewers, you're watching this only on Republic because the Lutyens media wants to hide this from you. The Lutyens media must be investigated. A lot of them have also got inside dealings with these NGOs. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to clean up the country. We must expose them too. Now, George, there's another principle, right? Akar Patel says this is investment into a profit-making organization. Okay. Question being, George, if there is investment and there is anybody putting FDI, and you ask any private equity investor, if they want to invest in your company, George, they'll ask you, what is your revenue, what is your cost, and what is your bottom line, what is your top line, what is your profit and loss sheet.
Valuation.
Yeah, and on that basis, they will give a valuation. Here, George, there is only investment. There is no revenue. Shaman, do you follow? This is a company, Amnesty's international company, has no revenue, only investment. Obviously, it will turn in a profit. You realize how shady this is, George? The shadiest thing I've ever heard of.
Correct.
Now, I was told we are going to debate on some other topics. Having said that, I fully agree that what has come to public domain is a cause for worrying, and this shouldn't happen in the future. So this has to be looked into. But having said that, Enforcement Directorate should retrospectively and selectively not use the government in power for its political vendetta also. There are a lot of cases of financial irregularities, money laundering and things like that, where ED needs to be looked into, where taxpayers' money
one second.
Are being used.
That's a generic point that you're making. I appreciate it. Maybe you got confused about the debate. Maybe we communicated to you wrongly. But this, even Renu is stunned. You look at Renu, she doesn't know what to say. Shawan, because these are people who've been argued and put on some pedestal for the longest time. They don't know what to say. What Republic is putting out is a human rights for profit scam. Shawan, what we are proving here is that it's all for a profit motive. Is India's biggest and worst and dirtiest and shadiest scam. Shawan. Complete scam.
The do-gooder NGO, in fact, Arnab, the do-gooder NGO actually has over 30 bank accounts. 30 bank accounts, 50 crore rupees. I just want to know over 30 bank accounts, 50 crore rupees, and then every year you have a profit of more than 10 lakh rupees.
You want to propagate whatever the government wants. This program is nothing but a propagation of what the government wants.
This is an investigation that's been carried out.
Who are talking the same language.
This is an investigation that has been carried out. People have been given the opportunity to really explain how they were running the export services.
Renu, okay, all right, Shawan. Renu, let me tell you, Renu and Madhu, on the screen. Renu, this is a scam. Is this a scam or not? You tell me. Is this a scam or not? You tell me. Is this a scam or not, Renu?
This government is using amnesty.
No, but is this a scam or not, Renu?
No. Please, you have to let people.
No,
you're saying democracy.
What's your argument?
You have to let people voice their thoughts.
Yes, sure.
You have to let them. Suppose there is criticism of the government. So what? The government should be big enough to take it.
No, there's nothing to do with criticism. Okay, so here's one point. Are you saying?
No, this is criticism.
Are you saying? Renu, can I ask you a question? Renu, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Renu, can I ask you a question?
You are a literate man, Arnab,
please.
Unlike many others on this program, who do not read what Akar Patel writes. I
tell you this. Yes. Please. My question is, Renu.
This is happening.
Renu.
What is Madhu but the voice of Mr. Modi?
Oh God, you go personal on Madhu again. That's all you're doing.
No, not personal.
Renu, you don't even know the spelling of my name.
We have seen it for years.
You don't even know the...
I know, Madhu, I know you so well.
Paglet hai ladki, tu sunti bhi nahi hai.
We have seen you for a long
time. Itna bhi paglet mat bano, at least read.
I have nothing personal against you.
Okay, you haven't. Your eyes and ears are under fog. In fact, I criticize the Modi government.
You say you're a journalist.
I criticize the Modi government for not banning. अरे पूरी बात तो सुन ले.
You are going on and on and on.
बात तो सुन ले.
Everybody is a crook.
अच्छा चलिए.
सब चोर है. Everything is bad. People who do Modi Aarti and government Aarti are good. Others are all bad. How does it work here? How can it work here in a democracy?
Arnab, let me have 1 minute.
No, 1 minute. Renu.
Only 1 minute, Arnab. Please allow me.
Renu, 1 minute. Renu, 1 minute, please. She's responding to you.
Allow me 1 minute.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Arnab, please let me have 1 minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody is speaking except me. Yeah.
And what I want to say is that when Modi came into power, one of the first things I did, we carried to him signatures of eminent citizens who said, please ban all of these foreign funded NGOs. Instead, what the BJP did was very dishonest, which is till then, FCRA payments were not allowed to political parties. Modi government has allowed FCRA payments even to political parties, which is in itself compromises its ability to take action against.
And what is the annual donation that it gets? More than 35 crores. The greatest scam that you're talking about, why is the government being so selective? This Jaggi Vasudeva Isha Foundation, it is registered in US, it's not registered in India. And every year it is getting donation, and whenever there are foreign nationals coming to India, instead of giving them a receipt, it is giving them a donation slip. Isn't that a scam?
No, see, the Lokesh, 1 minute. See the thing is. No, Madhu, 1 minute. Madhu, 1 minute. Madhu, 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute. First of all, point be taken. Extending this debate, this is becoming too hot. 1 minute. Question is, first of all, this is not a debate on Isha Foundation or Jaggi Vasudev. When I have one, we'll come, we'll get the material, we can debate it.
Whatever Arnab wants.
Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you one thing, Renu. You come into the debate with Sanju. The problem with you is, you can tell me anything. Your question here is, you come from a worldview. You are coming from a worldview 1 minute, yeah, 1 minute, Renu. Now let me pay you a compliment. Let me pay you a compliment.
We cannot be.
Yeah, let me pay you a compliment. Let me pay you a compliment. When I started out as a cub reporter, many years back, you used to be one of the senior journalists there in the Congress, beat at that point of time, right? And while I had quite a cataclysmic reporting experience with the Congress party, you grew and you thrived, on the beat. And I'm sure you have a certain degree of comfort with that establishment. But that doesn't discount the fact that even now, if nothing but a code of personal ethics should make you shout out on the program tonight and say, I shall not allow a scam, even if it is done by people who hate Modi. But for you, your worldview tells you, I will justify any scam as long as the target is Modi. And that's the ethical difference between you and me. And that's why I have a stronger moral spine than you do. Thank you very much. I've said my piece. Sanju is responding to you now. Sanju, this is a big scam, viewers. Viewers are responding. Sanju.
Sanju goes on responding.
Arnab, I have 2 points to make. Point number 1, Madhu Kishwar was very right when she said 51 or 61 crores, which is what Amnesty and Akar Patel are being currently investigated for. वो तो चिल्लर होता है NGOs के लिए. One thing that I disagree with Madhu is when she said that, the Modi government is not doing enough. I don't think that banning alone is what is needed. I just want to tell your audience that when Modi government took over charge in 2014, out of the 22,400 registered NGOs, and I hope Madhu is listening, 20,600 NGOs, their licenses were cancelled, their contracts were completely done away with, and 58,000 crore worth of assets were impounded. So to say the Modi government is not doing enough is absolutely unacceptable and far from the truth. And now coming to the main point, I think the biggest thing which the Modi government has done or not is amending FCRA norms. The FCRA amendment of 2020 clearly says the main branch of an NGO should be in the FBI Delhi branch. All top functionaries need to have Aadhaar card. Not more than
why this selectivity? Why is it that only those NGOs are being targeted which are criticizing the government? Why isn't the law uniform? Why isn't it that the ED and the CBI, they are targeting anything that is pro-government? Suddenly all who are pro-government, they are honest. You want to say that anybody who admires the government, who supports the government is honest, who does not have any form of a wrongdoing, and whoever is criticizing the government is the most dishonest, is unethical person and is not having proper conduct. So basically, in the today's time, the yardstick is if you are supporting the government, you are honest.
Now, okay, 1 minute. Okay, let's come to the point. Let's come to the point. 1 minute now, Renu. 1 minute, Sanju. That's too long. The point being, page number 46, Chavan. The point being that it appears that this organization AIIPL was misusing the funds received in the guide of FDI for other activities, which were in no way connected with the activities for which the FDI had been received. So obviously, there is a lot of evidence that has been gathered here. Nobody wants to talk about the evidence. Chavan, over to you. Nobody wants to talk about the evidence tonight. They're uncomfortable with the evidence. They want to make grandiose political statements.
In fact, Arnab, there should be a SEBI process.
They have entire list.
FDI norms.
Sanju, just allow me 20 seconds. Let me just put out, because that's the other aspect. Because there were multiple surveys. There were multiple surveys that were basically carried out by this organization, or rather the export house, especially in the states of Punjab and Union Territory Kashmir. And they prepared these reports. They were getting foreign direct investment, and then they were sending these reports to their only single client. They had only one client, and that client was Amnesty International. So what this means in legal and financial terms, and Ishkaran will understand this well, it means that Amnesty UK was totally controlling the Indian entity. Yes. Which means the political activities of the Indian entity were entirely controlled by a foreign entity.
And a foreign entity was therefore telling an Indian entity, here's the money.
Amnesty is not an Indian entity.
No. They had so-called created an Indian entity technically.
They had,
The Indian arm or Indian entity, yeah.
They had technically two. They had technically two more Indian entities.
Yeah. Ishkaran, what are the consequences of that?
Arnab, can you hear me?
Arnab, that is why exactly the situation starts. When they say they are doing commercial activities, then the fields they are entering into, how they are dealing with the members of either parliament or assembly, all that would come under a very different scanner. How are they making profits? What is the sale consideration? What are the terms of the contract? Were the terms of the contract in any contract there is a good deliverable or a service doable? What was the service? What were the criteria that you show that human rights violations?
No, you want to say that any society
being
or any
decided by
NGO cannot indulge into commercial
Those are all national security
If there is some form of data mining done, if some form of data business done, can that be done in the commercial capacity?
Laws of India, trying to make reports of what is happening in Kashmir, trying to say what the army is doing is not right, and you are being detained by your client, by your consumer,
by all the laws,
then the question
has
is
the
the
very
right
right
of national security, and that is
Okay. Since you're being very argumentative, Lokesh, I want to stab you in. Lokesh, I have a job for you. You need to do this. Experimentally, you go to London tomorrow, register a company in London, okay? And from your Indian entity, transfer 51 crore rupees or the equivalent thereof, okay, to your entity in the UK. Tell the UK entity to break every known British law, okay? Campaign against the sovereign interests of the British government, support insurrectionary groups and movements and militancies and terrorism across the United Kingdom, okay? And then tell me what will happen to your UK entity and what will happen to the next time you fly to London. So don't be a hypocrite, for God's sake. You are carrying an Indian passport. Don't be a sellout.
Arnab, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I'm telling you too. Yes, I'm saying the same to you, Peer.
Lokesh Jindal does not know the difference
Arnab, why hasn't the
between
government,
FDI
the
and
BJP
FDI?
government raised this issue with the government of the United Kingdom?
Please enlighten me.
Any question?
What do you mean by FCR? What is? You just tell me. What is the major difference between FCR and which ministry does?
Savio is on the debate. Savio.
You don't even know what's the difference between Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Home Affairs. Don't tell me all these forms of rote learning lessons that you do prior to the coming to the debate.
Norms were amended by the Modi government in 2022. Go and read up the FCR norms.
You have just marked down one line, and with that one line you have come to the debate.
Do you know the full form of FDI?
Okay.
Let's assume there are commercial.
Okay, you tell me what is the difference between
Okay, 1 minute, Savio, hold a bit. Savio, hold it a bit. Yeah. Okay, 1 minute. Can I bring in Savio?
Yes. Okay, primarily go by what they have said. They are a commercial entity, right? So where is the invoices? That's what's coming out in the investigation. They have not issued invoices, and yet they have money coming up to 51 crores. Is the commercial entity not supposed to be paying GST? Are they not supposed to be paying their taxes? So how are they a commercial entity when they've not issued
what we say over here
invoice
is
for their taxes,
apply the law uniformly
for their services?
If Amnesty International has done wrong, subject it to all forms of legal provision, put the penalty, subject them to law, but do not be selective. You cannot be selective with respect to other entities. Those which are supporting the government, they should not be given some form of a blanket ban. That's what we are talking about.
I think these people behind this scam should have been jailed a long time back. And it's so shocking that they abuse the term, they mutilate the term human rights, ladies and gentlemen, for their own commercial interest. Isn't it a shame? Isn't it an absolute crying shame that they've actually been selling this? They call human rights an export. And they say that we are doing this for commercial interest and profit. We're tracking this tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, very, very closely, including the people who are at the helm of all this scam. And tomorrow, with a big exclusive and much more, I'll see you sharp at 9. Till then, good night and goodbye.